This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Well, a very pleasant good evening. It is 6:08 at WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast. And time now for Startup Talk. Now in year 3 on WPSL with Tom Kindred.
It is indeed Startup Talk in year 3. And welcome to another segment and installment. The show designed to assist and help Treasure and Research Coast residents who want to start, grow, or accelerate their business. As I always say, what a great place it is to own and operate a business along the beautiful Research and Treasure Coast. We will spend time during our hour together this evening to highlight and create awareness regarding the very powerful and robust business assistance and support programs that exist right here in our community at our very own Indian River State College. I am Tom Kindred, and I serve as the Regional Director for the Florida Small Business Development Center here at IRSC. Underwriters for this segment of Startup Talk are the Florida SBDC at IRSC and our good friends at Express Printing of Port St. Lucie. So, Greg, how are you this evening?
Doing well.
All right. We are kind of winding down the year at the college. College kind of operates from summer to summer, so we're kind of coming to the end of kind of our year, but
the Aspen year.
Yes, the Aspen, the year of Aspen, as we close in on the year-end action here. But we don't get a big break. We get an evening break, and then it all starts over again tomorrow. we don't take a big break. We just we don't even know. Do we even feel it? I think we do. We close one day and we open the next day, and we're off and running for the next year. So that's right. So with that kind of happening in the summer, I always kind of like to bring the team in from our very own program under the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute. I kind of like to bring Bob O'Brien, the coordinator for the Corporate and Community Training Institute at Indian River State College. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Thank you, thank you.
And I got our other good friend here from the CCTI program, got Joe Gorham. Welcome to the show, Joe. So we kind of thought it was it's kind of our end-of-year wrap-up for CCTI and all the training things we do, so I wanted to bring them in tonight. Had a couple of meetings in the last couple of weeks. Had the opportunity to meet a couple of times with Dr. Massey and talk about some thoughts going forward and some things that we're working on in terms of training and support programs for the industry. Also, next week, everyone will be able to get their first copy of the brand new Treasure Coast Business magazine.
Cool.
It left the building. First, the inaugural edition left the building last week, headed to the printer. And
we didn't even get a preview copy?
No, it's all secret now. It's secret. You don't see it until I was told today I should have them in my office by Thursday of next week, so you'll have one Thursday. You'll be one of the first. I'll probably be in my car driving all over town.
It's out Friday.
What's that?
It's out Friday, and we'll see it Thursday?
No.
One day?
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be in my office on Thursday. And you'll have it Thursday.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So in the conversations I got to have with Dr. Massey and some of the articles that are going to appear in the Treasure Coast Business Journal, you know what? There is a lot going on in terms of business. I'm telling you, 67 pages of business stories. I mean, there's a story in there on Cleveland Clinic and all that they're doing. And I don't think I'm telling any secrets. I think I was at a City of Port St. Lucie Commission meeting not too long ago, and, they've approved, I think Cleveland Clinic's bought the VGTI building.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
So that's all underway. I mean, some amazing things. There's a big article in the magazine about Director and the Fort Pierce Port.
Yep.
So there are really some big news stories happening and it's all in Treasure Coast business. And so all the more reason I wanted to kind of bring the CCTI team in tonight to kind of talk about all this, because a lot of what we're doing is directly focused on all this kind of resurgence, if you want to call it, and new movement in manufacturing. So there's a lot going on. I'm really, I think it's, when you see the articles in the magazine next week and you kind of read the paper and listen to Startup Talk, let me tell you, there's a lot going on in terms of business in our region.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So that's why I wanted Joe to come tonight. I'd like to start a little bit with Joe because I've also had the opportunity to participate as a board member of the Treasure Coast Manufacturing Association. There's a nice article in the magazine about the TCMA and what they're doing. And I've had the opportunity the last couple of months to engage with them as a new board member. And so I wanted to kind of talk about, you know, where we are in terms of training for advanced manufacturing, where the college is in its role as a leader in providing the industrial arts training. So I kind of wanted to have Joe come in and kind of give us a little bit of an update on where we are with advanced manufacturing, because again, just constant, you know, movement and improvement and innovations in that industry in our marketplace. So Joe, with that, just again, as always, kind of start us with just a little bit of your background and kind of your pathway to your current position with the CCTI at IRSC.
Absolutely, Tom. As you know, I coordinate the manufacturing training programs here at Indian River State College. And it strikes me as we talk that we got a whole batch of kids coming out from school this summer, a whole big batch of kids. And we always hear that college is not for every kid.
Right.
And the traditional college may not be for every kid. Somebody's got to go to work. Some people got to go to work. I'm getting out of my house. I'm growing up. I'm going to have my own life, and I'm going to build something. And that's also a place for them at the college. That's where we run the manufacturing training program, short-term training to get you started in a career where you can build a life.
Right. And and again, Joe, you've led this program since it started. I mean, it all kind of got kicked off, 3-4 years ago with the Florida Trade Grant program.
Actually, believe it or not, that was 7 years ago.
God, it was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's kind of what started all this, and we were one of the few. There were multiple colleges involved in that original grant, but we're one of the few colleges that basically, when the grant ended, we kept the program running, did we not?
We absolutely did. We keep the program going, and we've talked about this program a number of times, and it's very encouraging to see the jobs that come out of the short-term training, 3-month training, 4-month training programs to get started in a career.
Right. Well, and talk a little bit about this. You know, you've been serving with the TCMA for a number of years since its inception. You were on the original board of directors with the TCMA. Talk a little bit about the industry itself. I mean, where are we in terms of this industry?
Well, the TCMA has become a very strong group here, and really organized in part because the demand for employees, candidates to learn a true trade career has never been bigger since perhaps in World War II.
Right.
And so there are so many opportunities out there for people to get a career that's solid.
Right. And you make a good point, because one of the things I know it's just, it sounds like it's a common thing to say about not everyone, is going to go to college, but you make an excellent point that fine, it may not be about the traditional type of college that we think of, but Indian River State College is the primary provider and really the leader in this industrial arts training, and it really begins with the fast track program to manufacturing. Talk a little bit about that actual program. What's involved in a student going through that program?
We do have the program, and it is in fact watched by local manufacturers to pull employees who come out of that program. Some of the companies, in fact, pay a salary premium upon hiring for people who've gone through the program.
Right. And it really has that original fast track to manufacturing, I think, had 4 modules, right? There are 4 basic modules with the program.
There are. It's a national certification based on 4 modules: safety, maintenance, production processes, and quality assurance. And we've added a couple modules to that, basic blueprint reading and calibration and measurements. But, you know, as we talk about this, we've talked about it before, I'd like to throw a tangent in there for the people who are listening out there, because there's an overlooked population out there that I think we need to address. And to throw a little story in there, back in World War II, more American-built aircraft made it home that would never fly again than all the countries in the world. Who built those aircraft? Women.
I was scared to answer
Women
the question,
built those
but,
aircraft. Rosie the Riveter.
Rosie the Riveter. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and then in the program, the interesting thing out of the program, the women in the program are always hired first. Women have a natural inclination towards manufacturing, and it needs to be promoted more, that this is a real career that they can excel in.
Yeah. That's good point. And I know you always talk about that anytime we talk about the fast track to manufacturing program and the industrial arts education. You always bring up the fact that women do very well in the program.
Absolutely. And so, yes, there's a lot of different jobs out there, but the manufacturing world needs to be reignited with the women of our community. And the young ladies coming out of high school right now, they're looking for a career where they can go take control and have their own lives into their own hands. Manufacturing is a magnificent place for them to be.
They're more detailed oriented than
Yes,
we
they
are,
are.
Tom.
No doubt.
Yeah.
They are into the details. Yes, they're, and so the original fast track manufacturing program that came through the grant really has now kind of morphed into something even bigger. I mean, now what it's turned into through the TCMA and through a collaboration and partnership with CareerSource and leadership from the college has really morphed into now what we call we've got an apprenticeship program, a real apprenticeship program.
Yes, we do, and it's operating right now in two forms. We have a consortium apprenticeship program sponsored by the TCMA, where a number of manufacturers are sponsoring newly hired employees into the program. And we also have one that's getting ready to start up specifically with Piper Aircraft, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, they were here a few weeks back, and boy, that was exciting.
Yeah, and I did. I wanted to ask you a little bit about Piper, because I mean, what Piper's done has created a very rigorous and robust, but very beneficial apprenticeship program for those that they selected for the program. These young people are going to get on-the-job training, going to get some college courses. I mean, talk a little bit about that rigorous program that Piper's created.
They are. It does start with the Fast Track to Manufacturing, the CPT certification, and then it goes on to give on-the-job training, and I've seen some of the lists. It's amazing what they're going to get. They're going to get some welding skills. They're going to get landing gear systems. They're going to get engine installations and electronics. They're going to get control surfaces, hydraulics. It's amazing the program that's being put together, because you got to remember, Piper is one of the last aircraft companies in the country who takes in raw materials, sheet metal, and pushes out whole airplanes. Most other companies assemble parts that are built elsewhere, but Piper builds it ground up.
They bend metal up there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Have you taken a tour at Piper?
All these years we've been here, no.
Yeah.
No.
Does Piper have regular tours? Don't they do?
They absolutely do. You can call
it's an
and sign
incredible
up for their
place.
tours.
I've because of this apprentice program and because of some of the support training that CTTI is providing for Piper, I've had the occasion to go to the plant a couple of times lately. So it really is incredible what still happens up in Vero Beach at that plant.
It's funny too. One of the candidates who is into the apprenticeship program, young lady, very artistic, very mechanically inclined, and she had told me when I talked to her after her interview that they asked her, is this going to make you feel stifled in the manufacturing world? You have such an artistic background. She said, look at those aircraft out there. That's some of the most beautiful art I've ever seen.
They're beautiful aircraft.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like it.
So talk a little bit about the marketplace, Joe. What is really going on out in the marketplace? All kinds of expansion at these companies, the need for employees. I mean, it's a good time for these types of industries, is it not?
It's absolutely a good time, and the competition to get quality, attentive workers has really driven wages up. Benefit packages are getting stronger. you have companies, top quality companies, fighting left and right to get people who really want to come apply themselves.
And what I loved about what John Bowman from Piper said about the apprentice program is he said, look, we're through this apprentice program, we really want to build tomorrow's leadership for Piper. So I mean, they're not just, they're looking for people that want to move up in that company, as you point out all the time, Joe. You always make sure that you say these are careers. I mean, this is not just a job where you do one function for the rest of your life. I mean,
absolutely, these are careers. And let's think about this. Circle all the way back to the start of our conversation. You need to go to work now, so you can go get a good paying job, get some training, and after you've proven yourself there, most of these companies will pay for you to then return to school and get your college degree and build further upon your career on their dime. So now you've got a job that you've worked, and you've got your college degree paid for by somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
And John was talking specifically about the need at Piper because, again, a lot of the boomers who have made that a career are going to be retiring in the next few
we've
years.
had that conversation with our friends down at Paradigm too, about all the folks that are now retiring in the industry. I mean, they've got people they're begging to stay that have said we're ready to retire, but can't leave. They just cannot be replaced. So for those students, I mean, here we are in June. I mean, we just had a graduation season,
Right.
From high school. I mean, great opportunities for high school students.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to tie in what you mentioned about how they have the baby boomers retiring out, they can't let them go. Well, what that means is the doors are opening for new people that are coming into the industry to move up rapidly.
Right.
That's clearing out the top, and they got to fill it from the bottom, and that's what this is all about.
And then I guess kind of a final note too. There was an article. There's going to be an article in this first edition of the Treasure Coast Business about the new Treasure Coast Advanced Manufacturing Center that Dr. Massey and IRSC is looking to build on main campus. I mean, this is going to be an extremely innovative, high-tech center dedicated really to industrial arts and certification and skilled training.
Absolutely. Skilled trades. It's going to be a home for skilled trades in this area, and IRSC welcomes everyone out there who wants to go straight to work and get a career.
Yeah, I mean, this building will not just be about, holding some classes. I mean, this is going to be a very interactive building. I mean, welding, things of that nature going on in the building.
It's designed for classes that are built around hands-on activities.
Right. And the building is slated to be built right there on main campus, kind of right there in the Kite Center and Brown Center hub. So awful lot of opportunity for collaboration and leverage of the assets in the high-tech center at the Kite and the Brown Center with entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it'll fill the final spot right around that beautiful reflection pond.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Joe, listen. How does one find out more about what you do and about what the CCTI does in terms of manufacturing training?
So the thing to do is to go to our online CCTI site.
Biz, yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Site and put in a request for manufacturing, and I'll personally will respond to each and every request that comes in the door.
All right. And you've got, we've also got programs still running. There's going to be another round of the Lincoln Park program that'll start, I'm assuming, in the fall.
Right.
And then, I think there's a whole other round of TCMA is looking to do another round of the apprenticeship program that they're collaborating with. That's all that will be restarted again fall.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if someone gets in touch with you now, they can kind of begin to get through the process and get situated in the program.
Right. And let's get them on the list, and let's get them signed up for the next cohorts that we're building.
Okay. All right. And, Joe, they can always go to the irscbiz.com site, right? That's irscbiz.com. Find information there. Get in touch with you. Get in touch with CCTI, and they will be put in touch with you about all the manufacturing programs that are taking place. And, again, it's just so important that folks understand that Indian River State College really is they are the point organization, the primary provider of this industrial arts training. It's the place to go get those skill sets, to get those certifications, get the certificates that allow one to enter in to advanced manufacturing. And like you said, made perfectly good sense. You get started, and then a lot of these employers will pay to send you back.
Yep,
and further your education.
You've never heard me use the word jobs. It's a career.
Right. And again, real quickly before we lose you real quickly, also you've also been responsible for a pretty unique program. We've launched a new MSSC certification, the CLA and the CLT, for logistics, working very closely with Walmart at the distribution center, which again, I've had the opportunity now to go to the distribution center multiple times, understand the jobs that are available out there. That's an incredible place for a career.
It is. In fact, there's several distribution centers besides. We have Walmart, we have CVS in Indian River County, we have American Eagle Distributing here. All of those are participating in the CLA certification classes.
Right. And the CLA, Certified Logistics Associate, CLT, Certified Logistics Technician. And these, again, are nationally recognized certifications in the distribution industry.
They are. And for those of you who question this logistics thing, it's shipping and handling.
Yeah. Well, what amazes me, too, is when we've met with HR representatives from the distribution center at Walmart, I was quite surprised at the salary range, that happens out at a distribution center. I mean, there's jobs. I think they start at $16-something an hour, and you can work your way all the way up to distribution center manager.
Yeah, don't confuse a distribution center with the retail stores.
Right, totally different.
Totally different.
All right, Joe. We appreciate all you do in the area of industrial training, industrial arts training, and manufacturing training, and now our new logistics program, which is a great addition to what we were already doing. So anyway, we appreciate all that. You've been working on this a long time. I mean,
long time, and it's good to see it come to fruition.
Right. All right. We appreciate it, Joe. And with that, I kind of want to turn now to Bob, where we kind of talk about the big picture of the CCTI. Bob is responsible for the CCTI, and what I always tell folks about Bob is Bob's been in this space for a long time. You'd never know it, but I don't know. He's going on 26 or something years. Bob, you've been in education.
Entering my 30th year in the community college system.
Wow.
And probably my 18th year with corporate training and continuing education.
Wow. So Bob knows this space. You've seen a lot. You've done a lot in this space. You've been at other colleges kind of doing the same thing. But again, a unique situation here at Indian River State College. Again, give us a little bit of your background, your pathway to the college.
I've been at 3 different community colleges. Started my career at Florida Community College in Jacksonville, which has a new name now. Spent 6 years there, then spent 12 years at Central Florida Community College, which has a new name now, College of Central Florida. And now I think I'm in my 13th or 14th year at Indian River State College. So yes, been doing it coming up on 30 years. Wow. And, enjoyed probably 29 of those 30 years.
Now, is that Florida College in Jacksonville? Is that State College that
yes, sir.
we travel to? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
See, Greg's up on all the new names because of basketball. He knows what it's changed to. Yes, it was Florida Community College at Jacksonville for the longest time.
Gotcha. Okay.
And now it's probably Florida State College at Jacksonville or something similar to that.
Yep.
So, Bob, you've been responsible for the CCTI since you've been here at Indian River State College. Talk a little bit about the CCTI. Give us the general purpose and the mission of this organization. Very unique mission here in the Treasure Coast.
Let me start with CCTI. There might be some first-time listeners out there, Tom. I
know
you've got a crowd that follows and tunes in every Thursday night. But if you're a
his
first
mom
time,
and dad.
That's right.
Yeah. If you're a first-time listener, the CCTI stands for Corporate and Community Training Institute, and the CCTI provides high-quality professional and personal development training for your business and organizations throughout the Treasure Coast. We offer customized programs, we offer continuing education programs, and also licensure and certification classes. We do it in a couple different ways. We do customized training, which you can do through your business or organization. If you have a certain number of employees that you'd like to get trained, we can customize the program. We can bring it to you. We can do it whenever you want to do it, wherever you want to do it. And then we will definitely sit down with you prior to the training and talk about the specifics of what you need. And then we also do what we call open enrollment training, where we pick the date, the time, and the place, and the topics, open it up to anybody, and that benefits the smaller businesses that don't have 12 people that they can send at one time. Right. So they can send 1, 2, 5, 6, however many employees that they can afford to send at the time. So those classes are offered at nighttime and evenings. 6 to 9 o'clock is a popular time slot. We also do weekend classes, Saturdays and Sundays. And we also do some training during the week. So while they're at work, they can sneak away and get some training in the mornings, either from 9 to 12 or from 1 to 4.
Now, you've been to other colleges. Other colleges had, similar but somewhat different philosophies sometimes. I think here at Indian River State College, really the charge from IRSC is we stick to really kind of business and the industrial arts and to support the business community. I know at other colleges, maybe sometimes they had some really, non-business type training courses, but we're kind of focused on supporting the business community here, are we not?
Yes, we are. And what sets us aside from the rest of the college is our classes are non-credit. You do not get college credit for our classes. So at most of the schools and the 2 schools that I was at, I did a lot of what we call continuing education courses and professional development. So I was responsible for some driver's ed programs. If you got a ticket, you could come to the college and get your ticket, do your 3-hour course there and get it resolved. We did golf classes. We did, arts and crafts classes.
That would be cool, golf class.
Yeah, we had a beginning golf class. Then we had you'd advance to the intermediate class. And then the fun one was the advanced golf class, where you actually played 9 holes with a golf pro following you around and telling you how bad you are and the shot that you should have tried. Everything, the scuba diving and all of that stuff. Most of the schools will do that kind of stuff. But here at Indian River, we focus on classes that either can train you in your current business or help you become, start a new business.
Right. What I always like to talk to you about the hot topics. I mean, what were the hot topics for 2018 and 19 year? What were the hot topics that we trained on at CCTI?
Let me run through those. A top 10 list: harassment in the workplace.
Oh boy. Yep.
Always near the top of the list.
Right.
Customer service, of course, is very popular. If you're dealing with people on a regular basis, you need to treat them the proper way. And repeat customers, of course, are important to any business. So customer service, very important topic. Cultural differences in the workplace. There's a vast variety of everybody's working, as we've talked about a little bit. The unemployment numbers are really low. So there is a diverse workforce out there, and you have to be able to get along and understand the people that you're working with as well as your customers that are coming in. Good old general communication. There's a communication gap going on as the texters come up through the workforce. We educate and teach people how to use commas and periods, exclamation points, because in a text you don't need it, but in an email or a business letter you do need to understand punctuations, and believe it or not, that is a popular topic these days. Time management. We all could benefit from time management.
What's that?
In our personal lives as well as in our business lives. So that's a nice topic. Sensitivity, diversity, and bullying. managing for change is one of the top 10, dealing with difficult people, fundamentals of customer relations, conflict resolution, team building, peer today, boss tomorrow, you name it, we can provide it at the college. And pick a topic or two, and I can get a little more in-depth in it if you'd like, but those are some of the top 10, the hot topics.
Well, it is interesting. You kind of highlighted the effective communications, I think, is the title of the class. And I was meeting with a manager for a local business, and that was one of the things that he stressed, that one of the classes they really wanted to offer their new young employees was, because he said, look, every employee that we hire at some point has to write some reports, has to, summarize things they're doing in their job. And he said, you've got to be able to write.
Yes.
So,
and the other thing, I'm a Kiwanian, and this morning the Kiwanis Club was giving away some money to graduates. It was a great thing, and my son is a graduate, and they had to speak in front of the whole club. And that was very interesting to watch the high school graduate get up in front of a crowd and speak to the group. Very interesting, the dynamics and how. So public speaking is another topic that's pretty hot these days, and we utilize that in several of our classes for just interviewing skills. And then if you're in a governmental agency, you're working for the government, and there's a chance that a camera crew may come up on you while you're at work. We're educating folks like that on exactly how to respond and how to reply.
Tom and I have had this conversation a million times. You look on your website, and it's absolutely amazing to see the large number of classes that you've got going at CCTI. Yeah.
And to cover all of those topics, you should see our pool of instructors.
Yeah, that was my next question. You do. I mean, you have a great pool of subject matter experts, those that have been in the industry, those that have taught for years, those that have special skills that really are used as providers of the instruction for all these courses.
Yes, and if you're out there and if you've got some great information that you'd love to share, we live in an area where people come to retire, and then they get here and they don't want to play golf every single day, and all of a sudden they realize that they have something that they can give back to the community. But if you're out there and you're interested in teaching some of these topics, if you've been doing it for years, and you'd love to get out and teach a topic to us, give us a call, because we're always looking for more folks to add to our pool of instructors, and we'll bring you in for an interview and have you teach a little for us and make sure that you're good in front of the crowd and share your skills with us, and we're always looking for more.
Now, are these courses just on main campus, or are they throughout all 4 campuses?
Great question. We do most of our open enrollment classes are on the main campus.
Okay.
Our customized training, of course, is at all of our campuses, the Okeechobee campus, the Chastain campus, of course, the Vero Beach campus, and then our sister campus over at St. Lucie West. We can do training at any of our campuses, and again, the open enrollment we try to keep close to home at the main campus, but we do some stuff at the Vero campus and at the Chastain mostly. So.
Joe, we obviously in the industrial arts area and the advanced manufacturing area that Joe works in, we talk about how we really are training folks for careers, and you're doing a lot of the same. I mean, a lot of your courses. The medical coding, the pre-licensure. I mean, those kinds of courses, you are really giving people the certifications, the skills to go out and develop a career.
Yes. Medical coding is one of our most popular topics. We've actually been doing it for a while. 177 people have gone through our coding class.
Wow.
And our instructor is fantastic, Derry Bonner. Has been in the medical coding world for a long time, and she does a great job for us. We've tried to expand. We do the basic medical coding class, and then We've also expanded to a risk adjustment coding and auditing class, as well as medical billing for outpatient hospital and professional services. And when you're done with our coding class, you can sit for one of 6 certifications, and she helps you and tells you which one might be working, whether you want to work for a doctor's office, whether you want to work at a hospital, so on and so forth. And then there's the billing and there's the coding, and that's
It's
a great
so
class.
important, too.
44 hours, and we'll run you through that. And our pass rate is very high. And again, we've been doing that one for a long time. With 177 folks have been through that one. The insurance world, we have accredited claims adjusters and the registered customer service rep, which are 2 of the most popular entry-level licenses you can get in the insurance world. We've been doing that for several years, since 2013, and we've over 125 people have come through our program there. And so that's a good one. Personal fitness trainer is a pre-licensing class. We've been doing that for a while. We've got 78 people that have come through our personal fitness trainer certification course. One of our students...
Is Tom one of them? No. Oh.
Well, Tom did sit in and gain some valuable information from that.
Yes.
And we are working on, I'm looking for a nutritionist. We all want to lose weight and battle the bulge and stuff, but we just don't have the knowledge to do it. We fall victims to some of these fad diets that are out there. So I'm working on putting together a class for business folks who want to learn how to eat right. And so we're going to bring in a nutritionist and teach us more about what we should be eating at lunchtime, how we should be snacking while we're working, exercise. We got to get up from the desk, the stand-up desk that we should be using, and getting our exercise during the workday as well. So that's a class that we're putting together. One of our students in the personal fitness class owns a gym in Vero Beach and has come back and taught for us now, and taught for the
Very nice.
The World Instructor Training School,
Giving
which
back,
is
yeah.
the party that we use. So that's a great one. We've got I think 13 people in the current class, trying to become personal fitness trainers, and so that's a good class as well. So yes, we do some pre-licensing classes to help people get
ready for a career.
Get ready for a career.
The medical coding thing is funny because I listen to stations from other towns, and especially like in Miami, brand new courses in medical coding. And I'm thinking, they are way behind IRSC.
Right. Well, and I always go back to what Jerry Parrish told us, I think the year before last, when he spoke at the Small Biz and Entrepreneurship Conference. Jerry said the old model in Florida was that you built a golf course and then you built homes around it.
Yes.
The new model in Florida is you build a hospital and you build homes around it. So, and again, I go back to my opening comments. I mean, look at what Cleveland Clinic. I mean, this is going to be a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Around the Treasure Coast. I mean, it's going to take them a little while to get up to speed. But I'm telling you, I mean, what they're doing, with the purchase of VGTI, I mean, it's obvious that the healthcare industry is going to have a new look along the Treasure Coast, and I can only imagine coders are going to be certainly a key component for
I would think so.
Yeah,
and FIU with Torrey Pines. I mean,
That's
all of a
right.
sudden, it's like the Research Coast is really
2.0. Research Coast 2.0. I mean,
Yeah.
here it comes. It's really making a resurgence, and absolutely. So, multiple conversations about that. So, I think medical coding, as in Dr. Parrish's again in his speech, he talked about now's the time to open a small business, and coding. I wanted to kind of talk about too, Bob, with the personal trainer and the coding, and even some of the the insurance classes. There's an opportunity there for entrepreneurship, right? I mean, people could actually start their own businesses. There's a lot of folks that do the coding as a business.
Work from home as well, in that field. Once you get certified, of course, you've got to get some experience. You got to get out and you got to do the coding. And once you do that, then you could possibly, yes, open up your own or at least work from home for a doctor's office. And you've got to get that stuff in right, because everything that a doctor does, that they're charging you for it.
Right.
So, and you got to get the code right and get it sent in. And, that whole world is it's expanding, and it's some good stuff.
I think one of the programs, too, that I'm so impressed with, and you and Susie have really done an incredible job with this program, and Connie, too, have really grown the APWA program. I mean, the Public Works Institute at Indian River State College. I mean, created a number of years ago, but you guys have really taken that program to a whole new level. I mean, the last enrollment for that program was, I think, almost 30 students.
Yes.
Both here and in our series over on the West Coast. Talk a little bit about the APWA. I mean, what a great program for those folks, again, that are in public works for careers.
That's an example of taking a group of employees, such as the Public Works Department, and creating a program for them so they can move up the ladder. So what we do is it's a 90-hour, it's 3 modules, 30 hours each, and it's all leadership training. It's folks that are currently employed in the Public Works Department, and we get them in and we teach them many of the topics we've talked about, and we relate it to Public Works. So when they leave with after 3 modules and 90 hours of training, their employer knows that they have gained some knowledge, some skills, and a lot of times it will result in a promotion within the Public Works Department. So, great program that was designed years ago by Victoria, and we've been able to maintain that and grow that. And we do it on the West Coast in St. Pete for the folks, for the counties over on the West Coast, and then we do it here at Fort Pierce for the folks on the East Coast. And hopefully someday we'll be able to create some online as well and be able to really expand that program.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive. What I love is you guys have had to move to a bigger room now in the Brown Center to actually conduct those APWA,
yes,
Public Works Institute trainings at IRSC. And last year, again, you really continued with some very innovative programming. I mean, the BAT program took on new life. We always kind of thought that the Business Accelerator program that we kind of kicked off in Martin County was the kind of program, the type of program that we could, take on the road, so to speak. And we did this year. You guys collaborated in a big way with the city of Port St. Lucie and had an incredible program, one series, and going to do another one in the fall.
Yes, for any first-time listeners, BAP stands for the Business Accelerator Program. It kind of started, Tom, you and I met with the businesses in downtown Fort Pierce, and a local bank decided to sponsor it, and we put a series of 4 classes together. We met at the United Methodist Church downtown, and we delivered four classes once a week for 4 weeks, and we're able to help these. It was at no cost because the bank sponsored them, and it was at no cost to the small business owner in Fort Pierce, and that kind of sparked something. And then we met with the Business Development Board of Martin County, which is where it really, really started. Yeah. And to this day, we've had 106 small businesses in Martin County come through our Business Accelerator program. And it's a $25 fee, and they got 12 classes, 12 3-hour classes.
Amazing.
Yeah. So what a great, but it's because it was sponsored by the Business Development Board, a grant. So they were paying for the instructors and the whole 9 yards. And then at the end of that program, there was a carrot dangled for them to come for 11 of the 12 weeks. There was a chance for them to earn some grant money to better their business, to buy equipment that would help their business out. And we've been able to help many people, many small businesses in Martin County, even some award-winning, the chocolate company was able to expand their business, and they had already won national awards. But we helped them buy another kettle or another pot to to double the amount of chocolate that was being made. So that's a great program. And then just recently we expanded it to Indiantown. We did it in Indiantown.
Really?
And had 9 businesses come from Indiantown. And then the Port St. Lucie one was incredible. There were 34 businesses came to the inaugural St. Lucie West one.
And I got to give kudos to Center State Bank. Center State actually, came to the table and sponsored the BAP program in the city of Port St. Lucie. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think Center State came to the table with about $20,000 to help fund and launch that program and hand out grants at the end of the program. So incredible BAP showing. And again, I always give credit, to political leadership, and I think City of Port St. Lucie, I give them credit for having vision and understanding that the need to support the small business community. And what I loved was the mayor invited all those participants from the recent BAP program in City of Port St. Lucie, and they all came to the city commission meeting, and he invited every one of those businesses to the podium to introduce themselves, give the name of their business, what they did, and give contact information. So it really was really showed a lot of vision and support for the small business community with the City of Port St. Lucie. So very impressed. And Bob, you work with other municipalities. I know you've worked closely with St. Lucie County. This summer you're working with the public school system. So I mean, you're working with private enterprise and you're working with governmental agencies. I mean, you really do. You serve a lot of markets out there.
Yes, sir. Never ending. St. Lucie County Board of County Commissioners, City of Port St. Lucie, Okeechobee County Chamber of Commerce, Martin Health, Martin County Property Appraisers, Fort Pierce Utility Authority, City of Fort Pierce. The Siemens Energy Group is a nice story where they come and they do training before they go in and do the
outage.
The outage at the power plant. They'll come to us
Whoa.
and utilize our facilities at the main campus, the flow loop that we have in our FPL
Sure.
area. They'll come in and do some training. Their supervisors will set up scenarios. They'll try to trick the folks, leave a valve a little bit open that shouldn't be open, or to place a trip hazard somewhere along the way, and they'll send these ladies and gentlemen through, and they do a full day of training at the college before they go and actually do the good work at the power plant during the outage. So,
and I wanted to real quickly make sure I point out. I mean, talk about the facilities quickly. I mean, think of incredible classrooms, incredible collaboration rooms, technology in all the rooms. I mean, what a great place to hold trainings, hold conferences. I mean, and all that is available to those that engage with the CCTI and are looking for training.
Yes, between the V building and the Brown Center, we have some great classrooms. We have some bigger classrooms where you can do conferences. And of course, we've done some great conferences throughout the years, from the Disney Institute to the Minority and the Women's Summit, and all kinds of great stuff that the SBDC's done, as well as the CCTI, and some really good stuff there. And then some of the labs that we have, we've got a wood shop, we've got a metal, we've got 3D printers, we've got micro, all kinds of
nanotechnology lab.
Nanotechnology lab. We've got a laser lab. We've got all kinds of great stuff in the Brown Center.
And one of the other big events that you guys do, and you've been doing for years, and it's so impressive, is the Florida Water and Pollution Control Operators. I mean, they bring in, 300 students for a week twice a year and do training on main campus.
Yep, that one's so big that we have to do it while the college is closed. We do it during spring break.
Oh, really?
When nobody's around, because with 300 people, they actually take over the Brown Center and the Kite Center. So that's a great program, and those folks are coming in and they're getting educated within their job. and they're being tested at the end of it so they could actually get raises or move up the ladder as well in the Florida water and pollution control world.
Bob, you just you really have. You've done great work, and it's really an incredible team that you've got at CCTI. You've got yourself. You've got Connie, who's been at the college number of years now, really understands the workings and how to plan events and how to get them scheduled. And Susie Klein, a great addition to your team.
Yes, sir.
Susie's, smart and understands training and has been in the corporate world for a number of years prior to coming to the CCTI. Joe, who has great experience through the years in construction and industry. So you really do. You've got a great team, and I know you guys are passionate about what you do, and I just appreciate it. And I, as a private business owner many years ago, didn't really know what I was doing, but I used your program, and it really made a big difference in my business to bring some really high level, high quality training to my business.
Yes, and we used to be the best kept secret in town, but because of the radio show and some of the TV shows, people do know that we're out there, and people call us all the time and request training. We, of course, market through our website, which is IRSCbiz.com. You can go there and look at the schedule of events that are coming up. You can look at all the topics that are coming up. Some social media classes are popular for any small business that wants to increase the productivity and to the website. And of course, computer training is always good. And we have a great photography series where you can learn to be a very good photographer and take that to the workplace as well.
Bob, thanks for the great work you do. Tell your team thank you for the great work. And with that, we will bring to close another segment of Startup Talk here from the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute at Indian River State College. I want to thank our partners here at WPSL and WSTU. And with that, we will talk to you next Thursday evening on Startup Talk.
Look for that magazine. Out soon.
That's right.
All 450,000 copies. Well, maybe not quite that.
Just a few short of that.
Yeah, just a few short of it. This is WPSL Port St. Lucie. WPSL.com and WSTU.com. Worldwide on Alexa and Google Home.